Fueled by Deathcast.
Not only with all the incredible installations and performances that Streb does, you've also, in 2003, you started Slam, which is in Brooklyn, which is basically your space that you do a lot of what I saw today. You know, you're working stuff out, but you also, which I think is amazing and also inspiring, it basically says it's open all the time to everybody.
Yeah.
Why? How come?
Why is it a public space? You mean people can come walk in?
Yeah.
You know, the stranger and the woebegone. Well, you know, I had my studio in Soho from 77 to 95. Mm-hmm. But we were in court 15 of those years or so, Loft Court, you know, fighting. But I had that space. I figured, well, I have it tomorrow probably, and didn't worry about the future. That was on the third floor of Canal Street in New York. And so people were invited in, but they didn't really come in. We worked with kids then, even then, you know, from the late 80s till now. And then I went into a whole bunch of garages in Williamsburg, like including St. Anne's, and then Bed-Stuy. I just rented these 14-foot garages. And they were on the street, so people started coming in. And some of them were streetwalkers, you know, and some of them were just passersby, and the door was open and they walked in. When I got Slam, it was funded by the city of New York, and certainly the origin of the money was from taxpayers' money. And I ended up being able to buy it because of that. And I thought, my first question in 2003 was, what do I have here that I made for all these years that has any relevance to those people who are walking by? And I just thought I wanted to fray away at the ivory tower operation habit and start to demythologize operations. Like, we have to all be in here together, just the choreographer and the dancers. And they were all white when we went in there, my dancers. And they also really didn't like it when I stood up from rehearsing and walked over to a stranger who wandered in and started chatting with them. And they actually yelled at me, you know. It was just before I figured, as a female director, how to tell young men they can't yell at me. I mean, I said, you may not yell at me, but they did, you know. So finally I went, oh, you're fired. That started changing things around. But it was, as a female director, it took a while, to do that, and noticing how upset the art world, essentially represented by my company, was when I wasn't staring at them the whole time. And so this is a longer answer than possibly you expected or requested. But I felt that was one, it was never the women that got upset, but they could have been, because they were used to my full-on attention. And I don't want to, I saw the dance, I made the dance. We made it together sometimes, like, depending on what movements we have to do. But I'm not interested in being your mother. I had never had kids, I never wanted them. I had plenty of kids and kids action. And so I just decided to, you know, the company changed. And my girlfriend, Laura Flanders, is a journalist. She has the Laura Flanders Show, and she had a show on Air America, and she's WBAI, it was a radio, Counterspin, you know, fairness and accuracy in reporting. And she really greatly influenced me when I got Slam about the public and about what it means to bring in outside thinkers. And it really has completely changed the way we work. And everyone in the company now, you know, teaches the 600 kids we have in their after-school program. And it just started to morph into a more egalitarian and also a more inclusive space. And people now come in from all over the world. And they see Born to Fly. That's a movie that was made by Catherine Gund. And it's on Amazon Prime. It was on Netflix. I don't think it is anymore. But anyway, we enter, you know, it's just a fabulous thing, and people change the architecture of your thinking when they ask questions that you don't expect. Whereas when you're unknown and unsuccessful, people hammer at you all the time, and that goes away. The kind of interruption and stranger thing that is there when you're a young, unsuccessful artist goes away when you become more established.